I would apologize for the lighting. However, if you guys didn't already know, I film most slash almost all of my YouTube content on my Chromebook, my very old Chromebook webcam. So maybe I'll make the lighting a little bit better. We'll see what I can do. I'll be right back. Hope this is a little bit better. Basically, I am getting my sparkle back, you know what I mean? And what I mean is that I am about to be 6 months pregnant. Confetti cannons. Wow! I could edit if I got some editing software and I could make that happen. But I'm so excited to announce this. Sorry about my acid reflux. It happens. It's a part of pregnancy. But yeah, I haven't been on YouTube much lately. My life has been like very much all over the place. If you are a person who is familiar with the tarot, who has ever gotten a tarot reading, does tarot readings, what have you, basically the archetype of the last 6 to 8 months of my life, the running theme has been the Tower card. And I am not saying that to be dramatic. I'm saying that because, number one, first pregnancy. Number two, big career change. Number three, big personal life change. And that is that this pregnancy is a solo dolo mission, which thankfully, because I'm almost 30, I'm a grown woman, I have been taking care of myself for years now. It's not easy, but your girl can do it. So yeah, there's been a lot going on recently. I've been posting to TikTok. If you follow me on there, if you don't, you should, just because it's easier to post on TikTok. Not that I want it to take over the entire world. I miss the nature kind of like long form content on YouTube. I mean, I don't miss it. I still watch YouTube all the time. I watch more YouTube than I watch like actual TV. But I haven't posted on here in a minute because life's just been all over the place, and the 20 minutes that it takes to film, semi-edit, and post something on TikTok is a lot less of a chore, it seems, than the, I don't know, 2 hours to 6 to a full day, depending on the nature of the content you're filming. Sorry, I'm sniffly too. My sinuses are kind of today, but it's just easier, it seems, to make content for TikTok. But like I said, I need to not be one of the people in this little microcosm of the 21st century who lets TikTok run my entire life. It is fun though, honestly. Like, I've been enjoying using TikTok as a creative outlet, especially since, like I said, big career change. I'm not teaching currently. At least I'm not teaching full time. I found out that I was pregnant in the end of July, I believe. So it was over summer break. My baby daddy and I are still cordial, are still talking for the sake of, whatever. But we kind of parted ways, split up. At the very least, you could say shit got very complicated when we found out about this pregnancy. And mind you, we were together for 7 years. So, as much as the pregnancy was not necessarily deliberately planned, it was also not a surprise, or at least it shouldn't have taken either of us by surprise, but I digress. It is 3:55 in the morning. Basically, I was in the middle of talking about my career change and all. So found out I was pregnant in July. We parted ways from each other, meaning we got into it, he moved out. We found our way back to getting along with each other, but we have not lived together since, I think, the first week of September, which is a huge change for both of us. But yeah, so now we're bringing a baby into this world. Or at the very least, I'm bringing a baby into this world. But despite the complicated nature of what's left of our relationship, we are both very much on the same page about directing our energy towards her. She is a girl, by the way, and just giving her the best life we can. Who knows what'll happen? Neither of us do. None of us do. But so that was July. Skip over August, September. Honestly, August was kind of a blur because the first trimester was really difficult for me. So school gets back in session mid-August, if you're a public school teacher, usually. And I didn't tell everyone I was pregnant right away, for a myriad of reasons. I ended up eventually telling a couple people who I was pretty close with, toward the end of September. And then I ended up, I didn't tell very many people I worked with. My immediate family knew pretty much right away. But, decisions are difficult to make sometimes about what, this is why I need editing software. Anyway, I make it through August, I make it through September. Eventually, I do have to tell the principal at both of my schools about my pregnancy because if you've ever been pregnant, you would know that you have to have a doctor's appointment every 4 weeks in the beginning of your pregnancy. And then once you hit the third trimester, which your girl is about to hit, your girls actually, then you see the doctor every 2 weeks. And then in the very end, if you haven't delivered by, I think it's 39, maybe 38 weeks, if you haven't delivered by then, you're on a weekly check-in type schedule. So I had to make both of my principals aware, because remember, I'm a specials teacher. I teach art, so I worked at 2 schools instead of 1. And I told both principals, both of which were really happy for me, and congratulated me. But like I said, first trimester was very difficult for me. I am still struggling. If you couldn't tell by the fact that it's 3:59 now in the morning, I'm still struggling a little bit with my sleeping patterns. But I was struggling with everything. Not only physically, but also emotionally throughout the entire month of September. Hi, Bobby. If you didn't already know, teaching, especially in a public elementary school setting is a very, very taxing and high stress job. It's also a very, very fun and very, very rewarding job. So I am not trying to deter anybody else from the career path of teaching. I just couldn't do it for, it was like a combination, a complicated mix of being asked to resign due to circumstances affecting my teaching versus also me feeling the need to just quit, which I didn't want to allow myself to do, especially during pregnancy. But like, ultimately, what's more important, the physical health and safety of my body and my nervous system, or supposed financial responsibility? And I'm saying that from a place of privilege, being that I do have the support of both my family and my baby daddy slash partner's I guess we're like, it's like I said, it's complicated. We're not really like partners anymore, but in terms of our baby, we are still seeing and acknowledging each other as partners because we made her together and we want to grow her together. Whether or not we ever get back together, we'll see. Stay tuned. But yeah, so let me think. Was either, last week of October, I think I left teaching. And basically that, like, prior to me deciding to take a break from teaching, pregnancy brain hits different. I was basically already missing a significant amount of work, either due to my doctor's appointments or being sick. When I was at school, I was not the teacher I wanted to be. Not only because I was tired, but like, there's something to be said for taking time for yourself in the case that you can. And I knew that I needed to take time for me based on my anxiety, my stress levels, based on the fact that I want to have a happy, healthy, calm, connected with me baby. Like, I don't want to be, basically I was at a point, and teaching's hard for anybody, anybody who chooses to teach. I'm sure you are struggling with something to some degree. Personally, my main struggle is my complex PTSD. It's very difficult for me personally to be a mandated reporter, to see mandated reports in the state in which I live go unheeded, basically ignored consistently. That takes a toll on you and your emotions over time. Because if you are someone who has, not necessarily, you don't have to have complex PTSD, but a lot of teachers are in the field because they want to help children for whatever reason, whether that's simply that you want to help children learn and become better, smarter people, or whether it's because you're someone like me who struggled with a lot of things growing up, emotionally, physically, psychologically, and you just want to be the person who's there when someone needs someone to be there for them, because that's something that teaching will teach you. If you, or really any job in the public school system, will show you very quickly that present, loving parents, unfortunately, are not are not the standard case, like, not the majority of what you interact with. You will interact with a lot of good people, a lot of decent people, a few really, really good parents, but in general, it will amaze you if you begin to teach how much straight up abuse and even more often neglect goes either unnoticed, unreported, or just ignored and unaddressed after the fact of it being reported. Because like I said already, teachers and actually any employee in a public school, at least in my state and my district that I was working in, you are mandated to report any signs of abuse that you see. And I taught for just over 2 years, and I filed more than one mandated report that didn't result in any positive change for the child. So that's disappointing, disheartening, exhausting, all of the above. And on top of that all, I'm grateful that I have a village to support my baby. But in terms of just my own emotional state post breakup, I really didn't feel like I had the ability to continue to cope with the amount of stress that I was coping with, because my support system seemed to be crumbling underneath me, which thankfully it didn't. Gaia bless. But like, the nature of everything in my life has changed. So that's also part of why I'm getting back into that's why I started posting on TikTok again. That's why I want to get back into creating content regularly on YouTube, or really I've never been super regular with how much I post on here. So we're starting a new journey, I suppose. But yeah, I'm reclaiming my roots as an artist. I've been painting as much as I can since I quit teaching. I do have a part-time job that I'm working to basically try to keep the lights on. But I'm not willing to put myself in any amount of physical and emotional stress that could put risk of harm to this pregnancy. I'm not willing to risk harm coming to her, as much as unfortunately I am willing to risk harm coming to me. And that's just a sad truth. Like, yeah, so I'm gonna be creating content on here again. I'm hoping on a weekly basis, maybe even twice a week, especially if I continue to do like this unedited, like pretty chill format of self-expressing. I'll try to improve the quality of my videos for you guys, but you also have to make suggestions to me and comment if you want to have any input in what this channel looks like. Let me see, how long have I been talking? Almost 20 minutes. I'll come back to this when I have more to say. BRB. Basically, two things that I have been very into lately are biphasic sleeping and content creation. Specifically, in content creation, I've been very into showing my morning routine / how I make my coffee. And before you jump down my throat and say that it's not safe or healthy to drink coffee while you're pregnant, what I have to say to you is that my doctor said that it's okay as long as you're not drinking more than 200 milligrams of caffeine a day. And honestly, even if you are, that's probably not a huge risk to you or your baby. We just don't like high blood pressure. We're gonna do a little iced coffee today because so prior to being pregnant, I'm very used to drinking like an ungodly amount of coffee. As a teacher and as a college student, I drank like literally about half a pot of coffee a day, if not more. I think I got to the point while teaching where I would drink probably like, honestly, a full pot of coffee every day. Let me fix y'all's angle real quick. I need you to be able to see my coffee as well as my beautiful face. I might have to take my blankie off to make my coffee, but I hope I don't because it's chilly. I don't know where you guys live, but I live in the Midwest and we are going through, what's it called? An Arctic blast. Okay. First step of coffee is ice, if you're making iced coffee. I was going on a tangent about how much coffee I used to drink because I wanted to demonstrate how much less coffee I drink now. Basically, the main reason that I'm making iced coffee, even though I was just talking about how cold it is because I no longer drink half a pot or a whole pot of coffee every day. I now drink 1 cup, sometimes 2 cups of coffee in a day, but usually not even 2 full cups, just because it doesn't like do good things to my tummy. And it's crazy how much stimulants affect your anxiety. Whether or not you have like diagnosed generalized anxiety disorder like I do, you'd be amazed to see the difference in how your anxiety presents itself every day when you go from drinking, let's say, 6 cups of coffee every single day to drinking 1, maybe 2. It's crazy. So yeah, that's what I have continued to drink coffee. I am not quitting coffee cold turkey. I'm hoping that post-pregnancy, I can continue to keep my coffee cut back. I'm sure it's going to be challenging with a new baby. And if you couldn't tell, she's my first. This isn't like a cute outfit to show the bump in. I didn't necessarily dress for the bump today, but y'all can see her. Kind of. You know we're still on semi-okay terms because I'm wearing my ex's shirt, which maybe that's not a good, I don't know. Okay, now we need a straw for our coffee. We have ice. I said I wasn't good at showing the steps along the way. We did ice first, then we poured sugar into the bottom of the jar, then we poured coffee in, and then we poured oat milk in, bone apple teeth. And we did a pretty good job. It turned out okay. In other news, I have decided to add a little bit more oat milk to my coffee. But before I do that, if you are pregnant like me, please don't forget to drink water. And if tap water where you live tastes nasty, even if you're someone who doesn't normally buy bottled water, if you know it's going to help you drink the amount of water that you need to consume, get your water in you. As I've slowly weaned myself off of my like massively overwhelming addiction to coffee, I have discovered some taste change / attunement, I guess. I don't know. Basically, and I think this is probably just because there's a baby in my belly who doesn't have an addiction to caffeine. And you know how they say coffee is an acquired taste? I've never been like a drink coffee black type of person, but I've also never been someone who doesn't enjoy the taste of coffee. I need a balance. Like, I love enough oat milk that my coffee's not bitter seeming, but not so much oat milk that like, I can't do so much sugar and oat milk and everything else and whatever that I can't taste the coffee, because then I don't enjoy it as much. But the little girl in my belly resident, as I've been calling her, does not have a taste for coffee or caffeine or really anything except for Nerds and 7-Up yet. Actually, that's a lie. She loves Mexican food. Refried beans and Mexican rice specifically. A cheese enchilada is delish, but refried beans and Mexican rice have been, along with 7-Up, are safe foods during this pregnancy. Another safe food, which I might show you me making if I get hungry enough for it, is, I call it the Breakfast of Champions on TikTok. But it is just plain wheat toast with butter and apple butter on each slice. And girl, if you have not had Amish apple butter, do it. Why the hell wouldn't you? We are going to see if we can get a little bit of some dishes done before the sun comes up. It's 4:43 currently. I had dishes started last night that I didn't finish. And I forgot to drain the dishwater before I went to sleep / fell asleep on the couch. So we're going to do that now. We're going to drain last night's dishwater so that we can make new dishwater for today. We might even put some bleach in the dishwater we make today just so it smells not bad. I mean, Dawn smells good, but, like, y'all know me. I am not a fan of dishes, mainly because of the sensory experience of everything. Like, I don't think anyone's a fan of dishes, really, if I'm being honest, but... Okay. Dawn plus bleach. Oh, I didn't even need... That's fine. Whatever. Whatevs. We need very warm water if this isn't going to give me extreme sensory issues today. Because, like I said already, it's very cold outside. So, we'll wait just a second to do the bleach. Because we need to clean out this part of the sink first. Usually, before I do any dishes, depending on how recently I've done them, which lately in my life is not, like, I don't do dishes as often as I should. I leaned on Jalen really heavily when he lived here, and he did a lot of dishes in our house. We formed a few different levels of codependency upon each other. But I, forgot what I was saying. Oh, usually when I do dishes, depending on how long it's been since the last time I did dishes, I will, scrub both parts of the sink out, just a little bit. Let's see if I can get this bleach open. Usually I use Dawn Power Wash Spray for that. When I put bleach in the sink, by the way, I just do a little splash. I don't measure it. Maybe I should, but I don't. My mom taught me to measure everything with love. Okay. So, scrub out. If nothing else, like, granted, the sink that you soak your dishes in is going to get relatively clean just from all of the hot soapy water that's already inside it, by virtue of doing dishes, but it really, bothers me if I don't have the clean side of the sink done, like actually clean, regardless of how recently I've done dishes, because like what's the point of washing dishes in clean soapy water and then rinsing the clean dishes in a dirty sink? That makes no sense to me. But that problem is solved, and now this side of the sink, at least, is very squeaky clean. I'm not going to make you guys watch me do all of these dishes, because why would I do that? I am going to make you look at how moldy my Stanley got, and I'm going to use that as justification for why we are putting bleach directly into this bad boy. I think he needs to soak for a second. I haven't used my Stanley in a hot second because of this. Ooh, I need to be more careful when I pour bleach. Oh, Cass ass, you so silly. We'll just put that down there. But, so my main sensory issues regarding dishes have to do with, the smell. I don't like the texture of having, like, oh man, it's difficult to describe. It's really difficult to process some things emotionally because, like, you start to feel insecure about how unemotional the thing that you're talking about is supposed to be and how it's not for you. But, like, everybody's emotions are subjective, so why do I give myself a hard time for the fact that I have feelings associated with the things I do? Anyway, one sensory issue I have is basically just the feeling of the water, like, changing temperature, especially on my hands. I have very, very sensitive skin. If you have watched my channel before, you probably know that I have eczema because I've never grown out of it, even though a lot of babies do grow out of eczema as they age into adults. Your girl is not so lucky. Mainly because your girl has had to work with her hands since she aged into an adult, whether that is in the context of serving, bartending, stained glass restoration, whatever the case may be. I have been exposing my hands to harsh experiences for the majority of my life, but especially adulthood. And my hands aren't the only place I get eczema. Actually, when I was a baby, I got eczema on my face. But my hands and wrists are the main places where I get eczema as an adult. So, ew. Those are... Forgot what I was saying. Pregnancy brain is so real, dude. Look at this cute cup that my not mother-in-law got for me. We're still getting along well too, by the way. The baby that I'm gonna have is going to be her first grandchild. So that's very exciting for Jay's entire family. On my side, it's going to be the second grandchild, and the second granddaughter, because my brother had a baby last year. Well, my brother's wife had a baby last October. So she's just over a year old now. She is precious in every way, and everybody in my family is obsessed with her. And everybody in my sister-in-law's family is obsessed with her. They're as excited for me to have a baby, like my mom especially, and I have been getting really close, just like talking over everything. And they're geeked for me to have a baby. But, on my ex's side of the family, there are no grandchildren yet, so this little lady is going to be the first, and that's... New life is always exciting, but, like, especially to be the bearer of the first grandchild in a family is, like, a load to bear proudly. So... Back to the tangent about sensory issues in dishes. I hate the way the water feels on my skin, whether it's hot or whether it's cold. I accommodate myself by using dish gloves usually, and that helps with the eczema factor of the water irritating my hands, but that doesn't help with, so that amplifies the sensory ick, I guess, is what I'll say, because let me put my hair up. If water gets inside my dish glove, it is such a severely worse feeling than just having my hands fully immersed in water, because I feel like so much of a neurodivergent sensory experience, or any sensory experience really, has to do with expectations. Like, for example, actually, I feel like that was a perfect example. If I don't expect any water to be touching my hands, and then I'm surprised by water coming inside the glove that should be protecting my hands, that stresses me out, and that makes my skin shiver, you know? It's not pleasant. As opposed to, so, semi-accommodation, but I'm looking for a better one. I guess I probably need... You know those gloves that they use, that farmers use to inseminate cattle, that, like, go all the way up to the shoulder so they can, you know... Maybe that's what I need. The other key sensory issue I have with dishes is the smell, but I can mitigate that sensory issue fully by putting bleach in dishwater and Dawn dish soap in the dishwater while I work. So I'm going to at least keep I know this is a long video already, and it's because I'm not going to edit it, but I'm at least going to keep recording until the sun rises, which will probably be in, like, I don't know, an hour, maybe a little bit more. I'll show you guys what I'm actually working with in terms of pregnant belly. I was wearing a much cute, well, okay, so, yeah. You can kind of see even what side she's hanging on of my belly. Not, like, hanging on, but... Yeah, I am 23 weeks and 5 days pregnant. Once I hit 24 weeks, that will be 6 full months, I think. Let me think. What's 24 divided by 4? Yeah, that'll be 6 months. Wow, that's crazy. I'm so excited to have a little tiny me running around. A little bestie. I was so terrified of pregnancy / motherhood / having a child for not only my, like, teenage years and childhood, but also especially my young adulthood, because, like, that's when, I don't know, 21st century is a hard place to live. And if you're aware of that fact, it's even harder to get excited about the idea of having a baby, but oh my god, am I excited. Why does my belly look pointy right now? But yeah, she's in there. She is just over a pound these days. She sits very low in my belly, like she hasn't expanded really up past my belly button yet, and my belly button has not really changed in nature, surprisingly. I also, thankfully, don't have... Not that there's anything wrong with stretch marks. They're beautiful and gorgeous. But I don't have very many stretch marks yet, at least, because I had a lot of weight fluctuation in my teenage and young adult years. So, like, I already have, especially in my teenage years, my weight fluctuated a lot. So I have a lot of excess skin that just kind of like sat at the bottom of my belly from that weight loss. And now that excess skin has been filled out. Like, my belly's not even fully taut yet, and I'm 2/3 of the way through this pregnancy. Like, I know she's got a lot of growing to do still. I'm very aware of that fact. But I feel like that pouch of extra skin that I already had, like, prepared my body for an maybe easier pregnancy. I wouldn't know because I don't have a comparison point because it's my first and probably maybe only pregnancy. But, like, shit, I love being pregnant so much, I might need to have a few siblings for you if baby daddy and I can work things out. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna go chill, take a little break since I got a few dishes done, not very much. I'm gonna go chillax, and I guess I'll record some more when the sun has risen, or at least started to rise. The moon's a really beautiful waxing crescent. I can't tell actually if it's waxing or waning. It's probably waning because the full moon was just like a week ago maybe. But yeah. I don't know if I'm going to do this before or after the sun rises necessarily, but we also have to complete our morning duties for the non-human babies that live in this house. And in case you forgot, that is Toby and Godzilla / Lieutenant Dan. So fuck dishes, we're gonna go do that for a minute instead, actually. There we go. Breakfast for Bobby. It is 5:30 now, and we're refilling Toby's water cup that sits by the windowsill because he is a precious boy. I may or may not leave my house today. I haven't decided yet. Toby, what do you think? Actually, I probably will need to leave my house because Lieutenant Dan is out of bugs and he is brumating, so his metabolism has slowed way down, but eating less does not mean that he doesn't eat, so we're gonna go to the pet store today. Oh, and I always forget, I feel like going to the pet store is such an inconvenience because it's one of the few stores in town that won't do deliveries. However, I allow myself to forget for some reason that, sorry if I'm standing funny, it's because I have to pee. I always forget that bonus to going to the pet store to get things that I need is that I also get to enjoy the privilege of looking at baby bearded dragons and other baby reptiles, and that's really exciting to me. Side note, I want to get, so little girl's not going to get her first pet, I've decided, until she is at least most of the way potty trained. I'm definitely not going to get, I don't know what potty training is going to look like for us, but I know that I'm not going to get a pet for her / another pet for me until she is at least making significant progress with potty training, because I whatever animal I get next is going to be a baby version of that animal rather than, I don't know, it might depend. Like, I have a few years to make this decision, of course, but whether I end up getting a cat, a dog, or a bearded dragon for her, I want to get an animal that's young enough that they can kind of like grow up alongside one another. So I might get a baby beardy for her. I haven't decided yet what her first pet will be, but the girl's gonna have a pet or two or 7. I need breakfast. Okay, the sun is finally beginning to rise, but I don't know if you guys will be able to see it yet, so I'm gonna go get some more dishes done really quick before he makes an appearance. The sun's masculine for sure. It is 6:20 right now. I've been just like chilling on the couch watching some Ewu true crime, so I'll be back after I get a few dishes done. Look at my cute dish towels. One has cats in hats on it, and the other one's just tie-dye, so. I lied, actually. I wanted to go get more dishes done, but then standing by the sink, I felt like I was gonna faint, so we're actually gonna make breakfast instead, and then we're gonna eat while we watch the sunrise, so that'll be kind of perfect. Alright, y'all. The Garden of Earthly Delights is back. Our tried and true backdrop. I don't know why I brought my butter knife out here with me, but now Toby thinks that I have butter for him on it, which I don't, so guess I'm a piece of shit. What is that? Okay. This is the Breakfast of Champions that I was referring to. Whether or not it looks delicious and delectable and like everything I need in one bite. It's that and more, baby. You like when I call you baby? Fun fact, when I was a kid, so I've talked on here about being neurodivergent very openly, and I shouldn't talk with food in my mouth, but who gives a shit? I'm not officially diagnosed with anything other than generalized anxiety disorder and major depressive disorder. However, this is actually a better look at the toast, because the other one, the butter already melted in. This one you can see both apple butter and dairy butter. And I'm still nursing my coffee because if I drink it too quickly, Miss Baby has a problem with that. I need to eat quickly though because the sun is almost fully up and you deserve to see that beauty with me. I forgot what I was saying before I started talking about that. I feel like 55 minutes would be a perfect place to end this video. Maybe. What do you think is a real question? If you're watching me. By the way, in case you were wondering, since I announced my pregnancy, my next appointment with my OBGYN is going to be December 19th. Today is December 14th or 13th. I need to double check on that because if it's December 14th, it's one of my siblings' birthdays and I need to say happy birthday to them. But first, let me take you outside to see the sunrise. It is freezing fucking balls out here. But look how pretty. Oh my god, it's so fucking cold. But it's beautiful. It is 1 degree approximately. Let me actually check on my phone real quick. It is December 14th, by the way, because I forgot that I got up super early, so it is my middle sibling's birthday. We're gonna text them and tell them how much we love them. It is actually -2 degrees in Jacksonville, Illinois. Whoops, I doxed myself. Good thing I have fewer than 100 subscribers. Who knows when that'll change? Do you? I need to get cute, especially if I'm going to have this go to 5 to 55 instead of just stopping it here at 50. The sunrise was going to be the last thing I showed y'all, but God, I can't believe it's so cold. I think I'm gonna try to get dressed for the day. We shall see if I achieve that goal. If I do, I will come back with an OOTD for you. I'm gonna show you the sunrise one more time out of my east-facing window. And then we're gonna go outside, outside. We're gonna go upstairs and you're gonna dress the bump with me. So, would you just look at that? Welcome to our garden, she says. We do not have the best lighting in my bedroom, but that's okay because y'all are here to bear with me, right? So, really not wanting to change out of these sweats that I'm wearing currently, so we have 2 options for sweatpants to change into. You can't see either of them, but let me decide and then get back to you on which we are wearing. Your girl is getting hefty. I think I have gained 30 pounds. I've gained at least 25 pounds since my pre-pregnancy weight. But I didn't just want to show you my big old pregnant belly. I also wanted to show you the outfit of the day. It's nothing super impressive, but that's okay. Y'all probably forgot how good I am at singing. And I don't blame you with how bad my lighting is on a regular basis. I would like to actually, okay, with the whole, like, dress the bump theme, I've seen a lot of women tucking their shirts into their sports bras. Not usually with this look going on, but just to, like, let their belly peek out a little bit. If I do this, though, I'm gonna need either a flannel or a cardigan or some other sort of jacket to wear over top of this. Otherwise, my belly area is gonna get cold. So let me look for that and then come back to you. I think we found the solution, possibly, potentially. This shirt is Nightmare Before Christmas on like some purple tie-dye. I'm wearing black sweatpants. Actually, the green sweatpants I was gonna wear would match this sweater that I'm wearing over top a lot better probably, but I don't really give a shit about matching. I give a shit about being comfortable, expressing myself, and showing my perfect belly these days, because pre-pregnancy, Cassie did not recognize or acknowledge the perfection that is inherent in her body. We're gonna put an earring on and a necklace. Wait, actually, earring for sure, necklace maybe. 53, 54. Okay, we're good. I am so pissed. This was like one of my favorite pairs of earrings, and I lost one of the earrings while I was teaching. I lost numerous earrings teaching, but this is the only one that really pisses me off because I really like this pair, and now I just wear the one by itself. Maybe we won't wear a necklace today, I don't know, who knows. Let me see if I can show y'all in the mirror what this actually looks like. You remember when everyone on YouTube used to record on webcams back in the day. You can't even see me. I so silly. You probably don't remember that because we live in the 21st century now, and I'm almost 30, and I'm coming to terms with the fact that I was once young,